Hello, welcome to Surprised and Confused, where I'm going to talk about the Tony nominations from yesterday's announcement. I tried to do a real in-time reaction, but they announced them so fast that I was just struggling to try to find where the categories were on my messy notes. So I've had some time to digest the results, and I just wanted to do a quick video and kind of give some of my thoughts. I'm not going to do my Tony predictions yet because people are going to campaign, people are going to write stupid texts, people are going to get canceled, and so the whole thing might shift. So let me just go through these. Best play, these were the four obvious ones. We got Liberation Giant, Balusters, and Little Bear Ridge Road. If I put these in order, my favorite, I would say Liberation, Little Bear Ridge Road, Balusters, and Giant. Even though I love the Balusters, the reason I'm ranking Liberation higher is because Liberation structurally is a more interesting kind of play. It's doing some new things that surprised me. Whereas the Balusters, I've seen plays like that, and I don't think the Balusters is the best version of that kind of play. I think something like Eureka Day is. Anyhow, and I loved Little Bear Ridge Road, but Liberation just, I thought, had everything. It was funny, it was heartfelt. The acting ensemble was across the board great. The costumes were great. Everything I thought was great about that production. Okay, best musical, The Lost Boys, Two Strangers, Schmigadoon, and Titanic. This is such a hard one this year because I just don't, none of these shows really blew me away. And you know what my number one choice is? Titanic. You know why? Is because maybe they aimed low, but they aimed for something and they exceeded what they aimed for. Whereas I feel like The Lost Boys was aiming higher but didn't quite reach it. Schmigadoon is a parody show, so to me it's kind of like one joke idea that kind of repeats itself. And that's not to say the show isn't hilarious and great, but you know, it's parodies on shows. You know, I left the theater humming songs from the shows it was parodying. And Two Strangers, I think, is delightful. And of these shows, it's got the best craft of writing a musical comedy. For me, though, it just felt like it didn't belong on Broadway. That's just me. It felt like an off-Broadway show in the tone, in the subject matter, in the scope of it. Felt like it was ramped up for Broadway. Titanic is the show that I just liked the most. And then I think, then maybe Two Strangers, or maybe Schmigadoon. Schmigadoon was really fun as well. All right, comment below and come at me. I can take it. All right, best revival of a play. My number one choice for that is Oedipus, because again, it took a familiar play we know and did something. It exceeded my expectations and did something greater. Death of a Salesman was great, but is it the greatest production of Death of a Salesman? No, but it's very good, but it didn't really exceed my expectations. Becky Shaw I really liked, and Every Brilliant Thing I didn't see, so I'm not able to comment on that. Best revival of a musical. Well, we only have three to choose from: Ragtime, Cats, and Rocky Horror Show. Personally, I chose Chess over Rocky Horror. I knew those were our two options. The response on Rocky Horror has been middle to positive, and my review was around middle. There were things I really liked about it, but as a whole, I just didn't enjoy the show as much as I wanted to. And Chess, I really enjoyed the first act. The second act went off the rails, but I had a great time in the first act. So for me, I thought Chess should have been the third, but Rocky Horror is getting surprisingly a lot of love, and I think it helps that it just opened last week. So my choice is Cats the Jellicle Ball, because again, it exceeded expectation. Sure, it doesn't quite make sense in this context, but Ragtime I thought was beautiful and great, but I expected Ragtime to be beautiful and great. And does it exceed the original production of Ragtime? Is it really reinventing it the way Cats is? So for me, it's hand down Cats. Number two would be Ragtime, and number three would be Rocky Horror, of what I liked the most. Again, these are not what I think will win, it's what I like the most. If I was a one-man Tony committee, then these would be the winners. All right, best book of a musical. We have, the options are Titanic, Two Strangers, Carry a Cake, Schmigadoon, and The Lost Boys. It's Titanic for me, again, because it exceeded. I was watching the show and thinking, why am I laughing so hard? This show has no right to be this funny. And so they took an idea that doesn't seem all that special, and it seems kind of crazy, telling the story of Titanic from the perspectives of Celine Dion. It's so crazy. But they pulled it off. They just did such a great job. Now, of course, my second would be Two Strangers Carry a Cake, because it's a solid book. It had some confusions for me. It had some moments that didn't quite land. And then thirdly, I would say Schmigadoon, and fourth, Lost Boys, just because the tone between Act 1 and Act 2 are so different. And that one I did guess the same four that got picked. For Best Original Scores, of course, the surprise for me was the addition of Death of a Salesman and Joe Turner's Come and Gone for Best Score. I mean, we know they're not going to win. The year that a play wins Best Score over a musical, that'll be the death knell for musicals. So the fact that they're even nominated just makes me uncomfortable, makes me worried about the future of musicals. And this year's musicals make me worried about the future of musicals. You know, I could do a whole video about this, but we have to look at the way we're developing musicals here in the States. I think London does a better job of it than we do. I just feel like the pipeline for developing musicals is not working, because I know lots of talented writers, and I even know lots of great shows that just aren't able to make it. And then these shows come from London, or these shows come out of some producer has a great idea for a musical and they do it all themselves and bring it in. And I'm just not as impressed with them as I have been with stuff that has originated from writers. There, I said it. That could be a whole video. All right, so Best Original Score. I'm leaving out the plays. And the three, I did guess the three. I thought Queen of Versailles should have been included because it wouldn't win, but there was craft there. I like watching it, I went, someone worked very hard on this. I don't want to say the composer didn't work hard on Beaches, but I don't think he worked as hard as Stephen Schwartz did. That's just me. So, but the three we have are Two Strangers, Lost Boys, and Schmigadoon. And this one's so hard, but it's between Lost Boys and Two Strangers. Schmigadoon is a parody. It's copying the songs so closely. Like, it's the same chord progressions and very similar melodies. They're lucky they even got nominated for original score because it's not that original. The lyrics are more original. No, the lyrics aren't even original. Let's be honest. It's parodying so close. Okay, Two Strangers has better craft, but The Lost Boys was more exciting to me. Okay, I'm gonna say Two Strangers, my favorite. As a writer, I have to pick the score that has more craft, even though it didn't emotionally affect me the way that The Rescue's score for The Lost Boys did. And hey, at least Two Strangers know how to write a comedic song. So yeah, I'm digging in now. We're gonna talk myself into it. Two Strangers for that. Okay, this video is longer than I expected. Okay, Best Performance by Leading Actor in a Play. I got 4 out of the 5. I really got all 5. I had Will Harrison as my alternate. I thought John Barenthal might get in there. So not really surprised by this. They were all names I had in my short list. So who do I think is going to win? Well, we're not doing that. Who do I want to win? I think John Lithgow, because I don't think the play is that great, and I think he's elevating it. John Lithgow, number 1. Mark Strong, number 2. Nathan Lane, number 3. I know you may have issue with that. Will Harrison from Punch, 4. And I'm putting Daniel Radcliffe for 5 just because I didn't see it. So I'm sorry. I didn't see it. So he gets 5. If they had affordable tickets, I could see it. Bitter much? Okay, Best Performance by Leading Actress in a Play. My choice, okay, the surprise. I saw this coming. All 5 of them were in my list, but, and I said this before, I didn't think they would nominate Rose Byrne and Kelly O'Hara without nominating them both. So I took them out, and I thought Laurie Metcalf deserved for Little Bear Ridge Road, and Jean Smart for Call Me Izzy. They were both fantastic. Jean Smart elevated that play. She was so great. Laurie Metcalf, come on. I know the nominators are probably thinking, well, we're going to nominate her for supporting actor in Death of a Salesman. But Laurie Metcalf in Little Bear Ridge Road is the reason that play is on Broadway. That play won Drama Critics Circle Best Play of the Year, the season. Laurie Metcalf, come on. Why wasn't she nominated? Sure, she should have been nominated in 2 categories. So I'm annoyed by that. But we had to have Rose Byrne and Kelly together. So they kicked Laurie off. And for that reason, I'm not picking Rose or Kelly, even though I thought they were great. So my choice is Leslie Manville for Oedipus. Second, I wouldn't mind an upset of Susanna Flood beating out Leslie Manville, to be honest, because Susanna Flood was so good in this play because she plays the writer and then she plays the writer's mother. My friend leaned over to me and he went, "Oh, did she write it?" And I was like, "No, she's just a great actor and it seems like she wrote it." It felt so truthful. I might change my choice later. And you know what? I'm going to say Susanna for number 1. Susanna for now. My feeling right now, my heart, Susanna 1, Leslie 2, Carrie Coons 3, then Rose and Kelly for Fallen Angels. They can be together. They can hold hands. Best performance by a leading actor in a musical. 5 for 5 on this one. It's actually a really good year for the men in the musicals, not so much for the women. Actually, it's a good year for the men and the women in the plays. So, leading actor in a musical, this one's a hard category. It's between Sam Tutty and Joshua Henry for me. And because I am a goofy comic actor kind of guy, and I think comedy is harder than drama. That being said, Joshua Henry's voice is unparalleled and no one can do what he does with that voice. But because at heart I'm a musical comedy boy, I'm going to say Sam Tutty is my number 1 choice because again, he's elevating the work. Whereas Ragtime is a really great score, Joshua Henry is elevating it, but it's already pretty great. He had really great material to work with, whereas I felt Sam Tutty didn't have as strong material to work with, especially song-wise. So I'm going to say Sam Tutty, then Joshua Henry, then Brando Uranowitz, then Nicholas Christopher, then Luke Evans for Rocky Horror. Okay, best performance by leading actress in musical. I was also 5 for 5 on my guesses for this. No, I wasn't. Lies. I wasn't 5 for 5. I wrote that down wrong. I was 4 for 5. I did not see Stephanie Sue for Rocky Horror getting nominated because watching the show, I understood that the audience was enjoying her and laughing. For me, I felt she was trying to be funny and chewing the scenery. I'm alone in this, clearly, because she got nominated. So I'm alone in this, but I did recognize that she was doing the most. I did recognize that. I was like, she's making a lot of choices and she's doing a lot, and I respect that. And I wish Jessica Vosk would have been nominated just because, bless her heart, she's stuck in a musical that's not very good and she's making it watchable for a lot of it. So again, when actors can rise above the material, but I often say this, it's less the actor and it's the role. If it's a really great role, people tend to get nominated for the same roles because if the role is at a Tony level winning caliber, why are we going to put an actor in it that isn't up to snuff? It has happened. Funny girl. But, so my choice for best performance by a leading actress in a musical, Marla Mendel. Marla Mendel, Titanic, hands down. Hands down. Because not only did she write a lot of this material, but she's playing Celine Dion and singing and doing a hilarious, loving impersonation of Celine. And she is funny every second she is on stage. You know, talk about chewing the scenery. She's not chewing the scenery. She doesn't look like she's trying to be funny. She is in the character of Celine Dion. And that's what makes her so, it seems effortlessly funny. So 1, Marla Mendel. Next, I would say Casey Levy, because again, she was great in that role. And that is a role that is Tony Award winning. Sarah Chase in Schmigadoon for 3. Even I just don't think it's a role that screams Tony Award. She was great in it. It just hasn't been written as a Tony Award winning role. Then I'm going to say Christiane Pitts for 2 Strangers. Again, I think the problem is more the role. And 5, Stephanie Sue, just because she just wasn't for me. But congratulations, Stephanie. I think you're wonderful and I appreciate you making strong choices. So it's nothing against her. This is about me. It's all about me. Okay, best performance by a featured actor in a play. So looks like there were 5 for this and I got 4 right in my choices. I thought Elliot Levy would get nominated for Giant. mainly just because he was nominated for an Olivier, I think, and won it. And that often bodes well. But that did not happen. And in his place, they nominated Brandon J. Sorry, guys, I can't read my notes. He was Pazzo in Godot. Brandon J. Durden. And I think it's great that he got nominated, but I think he was great in Godot. But I think one reason he's getting nominated is because he was great with the rest of it not being great. So he just stood out more than everyone else because he was doing such a great job. And then the leads were not doing a great job. And the direction, what? Okay, so this is a hard one. Alden Ehrenreich for Becky Shaw, he won the Best Individual Performance winner for the New York Drama Critics Circle. So that bodes well. But I'm going to give it to my man Ruben Santiago Hudson. That's my number one choice. Bynum is such a great character, and I'm going to be a hypocrite now because the Joe Turner's Come and Gone is kind of an uneven, but he was playing opposite some really heavy-hitting actors, and really, he was the best thing in the play. So I'm going to say Ruben Santiago Hudson, Alden Ehrenreich, number 2, then Christopher Abbott for Death of a Salesman, 3, 4, Brandon J., and 5, Danny Burstein, who I love. But I've loved Danny Burstein in other roles more than this one. Not that that should be a reason, but okay. Danny Burstein really is amazing. He really is. He's a treasure. The lights will be dimmed someday for Danny Burstein. All right, that's dark. Okay, best performance by a featured actress in a play. This is an interesting category. This one's not hard for me. Okay, so I got 3 out of 5 of the guesses right. I should have gotten Mary Louise Burke, though. I just saw Balusters and commented on how great she was and that she should get a nomination, and then I forgot to include her. So really, I knew she was going to be in there. Oh, the big surprise on this one was Aya Cash for Giant. Surprised, but I can see it. And the reason I can see it is because she holds her own against John Lithgow. And that's something. And she's great. I just don't love the play. And I found that her role really feels like I'm hearing the author speaking. So even though her acting is great, I just don't love the role. And again, it doesn't feel like a role that should be Tony nominated, even though she's great. So that being said, I'm going to say number 1, well, of course, number 1, Laurie Metcalf, Death of the Salesman. They have to give it to her not only because she's so good in it, but because they didn't nominate her for Little Bear Ridge Road. So if Laurie Metcalf doesn't win this award, someone's going to get hurt. I'm just telling you. The other surprise was that Kara Young didn't get nominated, but she's been nominated 4 years in a row or something. Honestly, Jessica Hecht I wanted. This is my longest list of secondary, and then they pulled Aya Cash out of nowhere. Okay, I'm babbling. So my choices, Laurie Metcalf, number 1, 2, Betsy Idem from Liberation. And I just want to say not only Betsy, but any of those women, of those like 7 women in that play, any of them could have been nominated, especially the one that plays the Italian woman and the mousy pretty one, and the lesbian. They were all amazing. Yeah, if you would have said Laurie Metcalf and then the cast of Liberation, I would have been like, fair. Okay, so Laurie Metcalf, then Betsy Idem, then I guess Mary Louise Burke, then Aya Cash, and 5, I'm going to say June Squibb. Sorry, June, this is probably your last opportunity, but you better not win because Laurie Metcalf is winning this year. I'm sorry. You better get out there and hustle and work Broadway and get your next job so that you can win next year. Okay, best performance by a featured actor in a musical. Were there any surprises? I thought Max Clayton might get a nomination just because he is a real triple threat, acting, dancing, singing, and doing all 3 really well. But here's the problem. I don't think the role is a Tony winning role because it's a parody. And I'm going to be a hypocrite when we come to Best Supporting Actress because I'm going to say the exact opposite. But I'm not surprised Max Clayton didn't get included because there were so many strong contenders for this nomination. Okay, so I think Andre DeShields is going to win it, but I'm going to talk about my favorites. I really wanted Constantine Rusuli to be nominated because like Marla Mendel, he wrote it and he is funny and he sings great and he actually dances great. He doesn't have a big dance number, but he just throws in little dance moves throughout the show. He's so funny. So, it's hard because Leighton Williams is also Titanic. Who would I have taken out? I would have taken out Ben Levi Ross from Ragtime because dying is easy, comedy is hard. Although Ben does get some nice humor. Guys, I love comedy. It's not easy. It's not easy. Okay, so from the choices I have, I'm gonna have to say Ali Louis Bourguignon for The Lost Boys for 1. I think he's my favorite because rising above the material. 2, Leighton Williams for the triple threat, singing, dancing, acting, funny, so good. 3, Andre DeShields, even though I want Andre DeShields to win. If we're talking about my favorite performances, he would be 3. 4, Bryce Pinkham, sorry I didn't mention him. Bryce Pinkham, total surprise. A lot of people hated Bryce Pinkham in this because they didn't like the expansion of his character. And I understand his nomination. Oh, maybe I'd take Bryce out instead of Ben Levi. Yeah, I wanted Konstantin Rusuli in there. He could have replaced Bryce. And we'll leave Ben Levi in there. Taking back what I said earlier. Okay, so 4, Ben Levi, 5, Bryce Pinkham. Although I kind of feel the same about both of those roles. Because Bryce Pinkham elevated that role. He made it better. He has charm, and he made that role better than it was written on the page. And again, Ben Levi Ross, it's a good role. He met it and exceeded it a little bit, but not as much as Bryce. Shut up, Matt, you're talking too much. Okay, best performance by a featured actress in a musical. So I guessed all of these right except one. I thought for sure Tempest Chastity Moore would be nominated for Cats. Not necessarily because her performance is so great, which it is good, and it did emotionally touch me, but just the fact that she's playing Grisabella. It's the role that gets nominated for a Tony Award. And it's almost insulting in a way to not get nominated. It's like playing Mama Rose in Gypsy and not getting nominated. You'd be like, what did I do wrong? It's like playing Fanny Bryce in Funny Girl and not getting nominated. It's an insult. Okay, so my number 1 choice, again, this category is to me. Yeah. So number 1, I think Shoshana should win. It's time. She's a perfect vocalist. Her pitch is amazing. She makes it effortless. She's great in this show. They wrote probably too many songs for the mother in this show because she's so great. Although Casey Levy was in it, and I'm sure Casey was great. Is Casey like disappointed? She made a choice for her family, put her family first. So if you must, is she now like, dang, I could have been nominated? But she is nominated for Ragtime. But still, she let that slip through her fingers. Oh, wait, let's talk about the surprises in this category. Holy moly, there were surprises here. Rachel Dratch, I liked her. She was elevating the material, but she didn't slay me. I was just like, okay, fine. Good job, Rachel. I don't get it. And the real surprise, Hannah Cruz and when they announced it, I went, who? That's Svetlana, right? I don't even know. I think that's Svetlana from Chess, who has an incredible voice, but not a good song. So this is a point where I'm like, who would ever think that Svetlana would be nominated over Florence? Did they nominate her just to piss off Lea Michele? Do you think that's why they did it? Where they're like, oh yeah, Lea Michele, not only are we not going to nominate you for the lead role in Chess, but we're going to nominate Hannah Cruz. Okay, so that blew my mind, but in a way I'm kind of liking it now because I'm evil. All right, so my choices for this, Shoshana being number 1. Number 2, Anna Gasteyer. Number 3, Nichelle Lewis, Ragtime. Number 4, Rachel Dratch. And number 5, Hannah Cruz. Oh, wait, let me take back my number 1. My number 1 should be Mackenzie Kurtz. Hold it. I just realized. What? Stephanie Sue, I just realized she was nominated for leading actress in a musical in a Rocky Horror Show. The leading actress in the Rocky Horror Show is Luke Evans. That's the leading actress. Dr. Frankenfurter is the leading actress and the leading actor. To me, that's the only leading role. I don't think Janet is a leading role. So, that being said, if you're going to nominate Stephanie Sue for Janet, then you have to nominate Mackenzie Kurtz, because they are both really broad and wild and chewing the scenery, but Mackenzie Kurtz made me laugh a lot more. She was so in that character. I was even confused. I was like, wait, was she in Heathers? No, she couldn't have been in Heathers because she's so cool in Heathers. She was such a freakazoid in this. Guys, I'm so angry. Comment below if you're also angry. Mackenzie Kurtz should have been nominated. And heck, nominate her as Best Leading Actress, and if you're going to nominate Stephanie. Sorry, Stephanie, this isn't personal. All right, now I'm really angry about that now. I'm getting hot. Oh. All right, guys. This is a long video. Are you still here? Mom, are you still here? Comment below, Mom, if you're still here. All right, Best Direction of a Play. This one I hedged my bets and made a huge list. I was surprised that Kenny Leon was nominated for Balusters, not because it's not a great job, it is, just surprised because I forgot him, having just seen the play. So I'm more surprised with myself. I think he's worthy. Nicholas Heitner for Giant, he was down my list, but the first three I guessed. Joe Mantello for Death of a Salesman, Robert Ick for Oedipus, Whitney White for Liberation. Then the other two, I just thought it could go to anyone, and we got Giant and Balusters. So if we order these, I'm going to say my favorite is Liberation. The play is written in an unusual way, and it requires an unusual hand of direction to make that work. Whereas the other two plays are written more in traditional forms. Now, Robert Ick does get a special shout out because he also wrote Oedipus. I love Death of a Salesman, but did we need a younger Biff and a younger Happy? No. Did we need to be in a garage? No. Was the acting great, and is that in part due to the casting and the direction of Joe Mantello? Absolutely. Okay, so my number one, Whitney White for Liberation. Number two, Robert Ick, Oedipus. Number three, Joe Mantello. Number four, Kenny Leon. Number five, Nicholas Heitner for Giant. Because there's some things about Giant I did not like directorially. Honestly, I would have rather had David Cromer for Bug. I was surprised Debbie Allen didn't get nominated, not because I thought she deserved it, but because she is Debbie Allen. It's Debbie Allen, give her a nomination. I thought her direction of Joe Turner's Come and Gone was a little uneven. Okay, so again, these are not who I think will win. This is who I liked the most. And my thoughts on who will win will change as we get closer to the Tonys. Okay, Best Direction of a Musical. I guessed these. I was 5 for 5 on this one. And so the order that I think should win, and this one probably will win, Jalen Livingston and Bill Rauch for Cats. Then Michael Arden for Lost Boys. Christopher Catelli for Schmigadoon. Tim Jackson for Two Strangers. And Lear DeBessenet for Ragtime. And the reason I'm putting Lear back is some of her directorial choices, including the very opening moment of Ragtime, I really didn't like. And it just wasn't like my favorite production of Ragtime. So Best Choreography, I was 5 for 5 on this one. So in order of who I want, Arturo Lyons and Omari Wiles for Cats the Jellicle Ball, even though it did need another group moment towards in the second act like it has in the first act. It needed one unison dance moment. Number 2, Christopher Catelli. He's an incredible choreographer. 3, The Lost Boys. That's for the flying. 4, Eleanor Scott Ragtime. What dancing is there? There's some. And 5, The Rocky Horror Show. It's more like movement. I mean, they do the time warp, but it's a step to the right. It's the pelvic thrust. Do you know what I always thought pelvic thrust? I always thought they were saying it's a velvet glove. That's what I always thought the lyric was. It's a velvet glove. All right. We're getting into the technical stuff. Best Scenic Design of a Play. I got 4 out of 5 for my guess. And then for my alternate, I did have Takeshi Kata, Bug. So surprised included, but so happy that they were included. So my choice in order of who I would pick, David Corrins for Dog Day Afternoon, Hildegard Beckler for Oedipus, 3, Takeshi Kata for Bug, Jeff Mashi for Fallen Angels, 5, Anna Fleisch for Death of a Salesman. I may have the names wrong, guys. Some of these, I got the names wrong when I typed it. Apologies right now. You know what? Let's switch Oedipus and Bug. Let's put Bug as number 2. Bug's number 2. Okay, Best Scenic Design of a Musical. I got 4 out of 5 of this. The one I didn't guess was Rocky Horror. Anytime Rocky Horror got a nomination, I was like, oh, surprise, because I just am not on the same boat, with the exception of Luke Evans. I thought he deserved. Okay, Best Scenic Design. My favorite is Dane Laffrey for The Lost Boys. I think he won last year, too, for Maybe Happy Ending. 2, Scott Pask for Schmigadoon. 3, Cats the Jellicle Ball, 4, Sutra Gilmore for Two Strangers, and then 5, Dots for Rocky Horror. Last page, y'all. Best costume design of a play. I guessed 3 out of the 5. I was surprised by Dog Day Afternoon and Balusters. I don't have their names down. Sorry, folks. So my choice would be 1, Queen Jean for Liberation, 2, Jeff Mashi, Fallen Angels, 3, Paul Tazewell, Dog Day Afternoon, Balusters. Best costume design of a musical. 4 out of 5 I got right on these, just because I only picked 4. I forgot to pick a 5th. The 5th was Rocky Horror. My order would be Queen Jean again. I want her to win twice. Linda Cho for Schmigadoon, Ryan Park for Lost Boys, Ragtime, and 5, Rocky Horror. I don't have the name in my notes. Best lighting design of a play. I got 4 out of 6. The 2 that I was surprised by, again, were Dog Day and Joe Turner. But I didn't love the lighting for Joe Turner. I thought it was effective, but there were some moments where I just, like the magical moments weren't lit the way I wanted, and part of that may have been the direction. So I'm putting Joe Turner last. So number 1, well, Heather Gilbert, in my opinion, should have been nominated 3 times. So I'm just picking her because she deserves an award this year. So I will say Heather Gilbert for The Fear of 13, Jack Knowles' Death of a Salesman, Heather Gilbert, Bug, Dog Day, Lee Kern, Oedipus, 6, Joe Turner. All right, best lighting design of a musical. I guessed 5 out of the 6 for this. Again, I only guessed 5 categories, and the 6th was Rocky Horror. There's a trend here. So 1, Jen Shriver, The Lost Boys. I mean, the lighting is incredible in that show. 2, Adam Honore for Cats Jellicle Ball. 3, Kevin Adams for Chess, which I guessed that one. 4, Donald Holder for Schmigadoon. 5, Adam Honore for Ragtime, and 6, Rocky Horror. Best sound design of a play. I got 3 out of 5. I was surprised by Fear of 13 being included and Joe Turner being included. So my choice for this is Tom Gibbons for Oedipus, 2, Mikhail Suleiman for Death of a Salesman, Josh Schmidt for Bug, Fear of 13, 4, and 5, Joe Turner. Best sound design of a musical. I got 3 out of 5 for this. Again, I didn't see Rocky Horror getting it, and I didn't see Schmigadoon getting it. I say Cats the Jellicle Ball for sound design, even though it's too loud. 2, Adam Fisher for The Lost Boys. 3, Schmigadoon. 4, Kai Harada for Ragtime, and 5, Rocky Horror. And that is all of them. Boy, this was a lot longer video, but I hope you enjoyed me getting all up in my feelings about this. I was really so happy that Bug got so many nominations because it was ignored by the outer critics and the drama desk. And I loved Bug, and I thought it was so good on so many levels. So happy that Bug's getting the love it deserves. Surprised that Rocky Horror is getting so much love, but clearly I am not in the majority. So maybe I need to go do the time warp again. And my biggest upset was Laurie Metcalf for Best Actress in a Play and Mackenzie Kurtz for Best Supporting Actress in a Musical. Both of those are upsetting. I'm not really excited about a lot of the categories. It's mainly the men's categories that are going to be really hard to guess. So I'll come back once things have settled and people have tweeted and people have campaigned. I'll come back and give my predictions for the Tony winners. This was just what I right now am liking the most. And even as I was talking to you, some of the numbers I had written down, I changed in the moment because I am human. All right, thank you for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment below. I want to hear what you think of my thoughts. I want to hear who you are really excited about. Who did you really love the most in these categories? I want to hear. Comment below. All right, I'll see you next. We have Receptionist review coming out tomorrow night. It's opening night, and I'm going to give you a little heads up. It's really good. You heard it here first. All right, bye.